My name is Ryan Callahan. I'm 32 years old, originally from upstate New York, and I work in marketing at a mid-sized firm in Chicago. My life was predictable. A decent job, an apartment with a view of the lake if you tilted your head just right, and a calendar filled with nothing but deadlines, coffee meetings, and the occasional Sunday phone call to my mom. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, "She invited me for coffee," but it turned into so much more. It all started on a gray Thursday afternoon, the kind where the clouds hang so low they almost touch the tops of the buildings, and everyone in the office walks around in a sleepy haze. I was heading back to my desk from a soul-numbing strategy meeting when I bumped into her in the hallway. Literally. She dropped a stack of client briefs and I bent down to help, fumbling with pages, half mumbling an apology. "Hey, it's fine," she said, laughing softly. "I've been meaning to run into you anyway." Her name was Emily Monroe. She had just joined the firm 3 weeks ago in the design department, brilliant, sharp, and the kind of beautiful that made you forget how to finish your sentences. I'd noticed her, of course. Who hadn't? But she was younger, maybe 28, and way out of my league, or so I thought. As we gathered the scattered papers, she looked at me and said, "You always look like you're carrying the weight of 5 jobs. Want to grab a coffee later? I've been dying for an excuse to escape this place." I chuckled, unsure if she was joking or actually serious. "Yeah, sure. Coffee sounds good." That evening, we met at a little cafe down the street. Brick walls, soft indie music, and the smell of cinnamon and old books. We talked for an hour that turned into 2. She was different, easy to talk to, but there was something behind her eyes, like she'd lived 10 lives already. She didn't just listen. She heard. That night, I walked home feeling something I hadn't in years. Anticipation. We started meeting more often. First, coffee. Then lunch breaks. Then late-night texts that turned into long conversations about everything from our childhood fears to our dreams that felt too fragile to say aloud. She told me her mother had passed away 2 years ago, and since then, she'd kept people at arm's length. I told her I hadn't let myself get close to anyone since my last relationship ended. Badly. But with Emily, it didn't feel like I had to try. We just fit. Or maybe I wanted us to fit. I didn't notice it at first, but she had a way of drawing me in. Like a flame. Warm, comforting, dangerous if you got too close. One night after work, she invited me over to her apartment. It was minimalist and spotless, almost unnaturally so, with candles burning even though it was the middle of summer. We sat on her couch, sipping red wine and listening to music that sounded like heartbreak dressed up in poetry. Out of nowhere, she turned to me and said, "Do you believe in fate, Ryan?" I hesitated. "I don't know. I guess I believe we meet certain people for a reason. Some to teach us lessons. Some to stay." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "And some to break us apart before we even know who we are." That night we kissed. Felt inevitable. Over the next few weeks we got closer. Everyone in the office noticed. Some joked about it. Some warned me subtly. One of the junior analysts even said, "You should be careful with her. She's not what she seems." I laughed it off. But then the odd things began. One evening, I came home to find a note under my door. No name, no signature. Just 3 words, written in all caps. "She's lying. Run." I thought it was a prank, or a sick joke. But then I remembered something strange. Emily never talked about her friends. Never invited me to meet anyone from her world. Her phone always face down when we were together. And sometimes, she would say things that didn't add up. Her stories about her past kept changing in subtle ways. The more I asked, the more she deflected. Then, one Friday afternoon, I walked past HR and overheard my manager arguing with someone. The name Emily Monroe came up. Something about falsified credentials. My stomach twisted. I went to her place that night. I needed answers. She opened the door wearing that same soft smile. But this time it felt rehearsed. Her eyes darted around like she was trying to read my mind before I spoke. "Emily, who are you?" The silence between us stretched so long I could hear the ticking of the clock on her wall. Then she sighed, set her wine glass down, and said quietly, "Do you really want to know?" I nodded, heart pounding. "I've never lied to you, Ryan. I just didn't tell you everything. There's a difference." That night, she told me things I'm still not sure I believe. About a man who used to follow her. About why she changed her name. About a past in California she left behind, not by choice but for survival. She showed me a police report, bruises in old photos, a restraining order. Her eyes brimmed with tears as she said, "He took everything from me." And just when I was starting to feel safe again, the notes started showing up. She wasn't talking about my note. There had been others. On her windshield, at her gym locker. One even slid under her pillow while she slept. My breath caught. I didn't know what to say. Part of me still doubted her. But another part, the part that had fallen for her voice, her laugh, the sadness behind her smile, wanted to believe her. So I stayed. I stayed even when my friends stopped calling. I stayed when I started losing focus at work, distracted by thoughts of her safety or my own. And then, everything shattered. It was a Sunday morning when I got the call. Emily had been taken. From the grocery store parking lot. The news hit me like a truck. Sirens in my ears, numbness in my bones. I'll stop here for now. The next 48 hours were a blur of flashing lights, detectives, interviews, and my own raw disbelief. Emily was gone. The police found her car abandoned just 2 blocks from her apartment. Her purse still inside. Her phone left on the passenger seat. Screen cracked, blood on the edge. I was questioned for hours. They asked about our relationship, her past, what I knew of it, and then about the note I'd received. When I showed it to them, the room got eerily quiet. One detective, Lombardi, I think his name was, said, "You should have come to us sooner. This isn't the first time something like this has happened." Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My apartment felt haunted by her absence. Her laugh echoing in the walls, her hair still on my pillow, the scent of her perfume on the sweatshirt she once borrowed. And then something happened that pulled me into a darkness I didn't know I was capable of feeling. I got another note. Same handwriting. Same message. "She's lying. Run." Only this time there was something else tucked in with the note. A flash drive. I stared at it for hours before finally plugging it into my laptop. A single folder. No title. Inside were 5 video clips, grainy, distorted, and time-stamped from different days over the last few months. They were surveillance recordings of me entering her building, leaving her apartment, us sitting at the cafe, me holding her hand. And then the final clip. It showed Emily, alone, in what looked like a basement. She was speaking directly to the camera. "Ryan, if you're watching this, then something's gone wrong. I didn't want to involve you, but it's too late now. He's found me. Again." She paused, trembling. "There are things I never told you, things I couldn't. I lied to protect myself. And you. But maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have told you everything from the beginning." Suddenly, the video went static. End of file. I slammed the laptop shut, heart hammering. Who had been watching us? And more terrifyingly, why me? I went back to the police. Showed them the video. The flash drive was taken as evidence. But progress was slow. Too slow. I started digging myself into her past, her supposed identity, everything. And what I found made the ground drop beneath me. There was no Emily Monroe in the company records before she joined. No diploma from the design school she claimed to attend. No driver's license issued under her name before 2023. But a woman named Claire Donovan, reported missing from Los Angeles 5 years ago after escaping an abusive fiancé, looked just like her in the photos I found online. Different hair, same eyes. Claire's case had gone cold. Her ex-fiancé, Nolan Bryce, was a trust fund heir with expensive lawyers and a long history of sealed police files. The more I read, the more the pieces started falling into place. Emily was Claire, and she'd been running, and now she was caught. I couldn't just wait anymore. I had to do something. So I called a friend of mine, Danny, who worked cybersecurity. He traced the IP address of the camera footage from the flash drive. It led us to a storage facility on the outskirts of town. Abandoned, shut down 3 years ago, but recently accessed according to property records. I didn't tell the police. Maybe I should have. But something in me felt like this wasn't just about saving her. It was about facing the thing that had haunted her entire life. So I went. It was just past midnight when I pulled up to the lot. Cold, dead air. No lights. Just rows of steel doors and the hum of something mechanical deep inside. I broke in with a crowbar. The moment I opened Unit 117, I heard it, muffled breathing. And then I saw her. She was tied to a chair, duct tape across her mouth, bruised but alive. Her eyes widened when she saw me, filling with tears. I ran to her, cut her free. We didn't speak a word, just held each other. But it wasn't over. From behind us, a voice echoed through the darkness. "Well, isn't this romantic?" Nolan, tall, pale, wearing gloves. He stepped out from the shadows with the calm of a man who'd done this before. "You should have stayed out of it, Ryan." He lunged. I fought like a man possessed. I don't remember most of it. Just flashes of fists, screams, the sting of blood in my eyes. But somewhere in the chaos, Emily, Claire, grabbed the crowbar and struck him from behind. He collapsed. The police arrived minutes later, thanks to a silent SOS alert I'd sent through my phone earlier. Nolan was arrested on multiple charges, including kidnapping, stalking, and attempted murder. Claire gave a full statement, this time with everything on record, and she didn't run again. It's been a year now. We live together in a quieter part of town. She's painting again, something she used to love before fear took that away. I still call her Emily sometimes out of habit, but mostly I call her home. People think love is about timing or chemistry, but real love, the kind that survives trauma, betrayal, truth, it's about choosing someone, even when the world tells you to run. She invited me for coffee, but it turned into so much more. I don't know what made me stay that day, maybe hope, maybe something deeper. But I do know this, when someone's been running their whole life, and they finally stop, what they need most isn't someone to save them. They need someone to stand still with them, to say, "I see you, all of you, and I'm not going anywhere." That's what I did. And I'd do it again, every single time.